Hello, fellow bookworms. My name is Michelle the Bookworm, and I am really excited to be doing this video. I have been really busy trying to prepare for my trip abroad. So I've actually been doing a lot of gleaning through my things and just getting ready to get rid of a bunch of my stuff and pack my life away to move to China to be an English teacher. So I'm super excited about that. Even though that is something that is happening that's really prevalent in my life right now, I really I was really looking forward to taking the time to spend a week um, just reading for the reading rush. I found out that the reading rush isn't happening this year. I am not going to give my opinion on the matter. If you'd like to do the research about as to why it's not happening, feel free to um, Google it, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about. So instead of doing the reading rush, I decided to make my own. The reading rush is something that, like, I've been doing with my mom for a really long time, and it's something that's really brought us, like, closer together. So I wanted to make sure that before I flew the nest and left, I was able to do one last reading rush with her. So I'm doing my own reading week, and this is my reading week TBR. So what my mom and I did is that we reviewed the challenges from the last 5 years. I made a whole spreadsheet. It is glorious and beautiful. I absolutely spent way too much time and detail on it. And we voted on which challenges we wanted to do. And so I will be going over those challenges in this video, telling you the books that I've picked, and also picking some of the books in this video. So last year, for the reading rush, I read 5 books and 1,737 pages. So this year, my goal is to read 4 to 5 books, depending on the challenges, and I would like, depending on the books that I read, and I hopefully will meet. I'd like to get to 2,000 pages. I'd like to read a little bit more pages this year, and we'll see what happens. And the biggest goal that I have is to have a lot of fun. I really enjoy reading. There's a lot of books that I own that I seriously just have not read yet, and I'm really excited to delve into some of those. For the first challenge that we picked was read the first book that you touch. And so I'm also pairing this challenge up with another challenge, but what I have is, instead of choosing the first book that I touch, I made a list of books. And I absolutely love doing this, but I made a list of books, and I have a 20-sided D&D die that I am going to roll and see which book I get. I'm super excited. So if I roll a 1, I have to re-roll it. So there's 18 books, 18 books. If I roll a 1, I have to re-roll it. And if I roll a 20, a natural 20, I get to choose whichever book I want. And so they're all books that I have been meaning to read, but some of them are also like I would never read for reading rush challenge because they're just so enormous. So the second challenge that we chose is to read a book with a non-human main character. I've had a lot of good fortune with this challenge in the past years, and I absolutely loved it. It's how I discovered, I read Born for 1 year, and then I also read Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien too for another year, and they're both great books. But this year, I'm going to be reading a hard copy of Cujo by Stephen King. So Cujo is, a lot of you have probably heard of it. Cujo is about this dog, that's like a big dog. That's a Saint Bernard, and he contracts rabies or he gets possessed. We're not entirely sure, and he turns rabid. Yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. It's not very long. It's actually pretty thin. I feel like I can get through this in about a day. I absolutely love Stephen King. He is awesome. I love his books. And he always has a very like direct, um, graphic way of writing, and I absolutely love it. So I'm really excited to be reading Cujo. All right, so the third challenge that we decided upon is to read a book that you meant to read last year. And so this is the list. I am going to post a list of all of the books that I am wanting to read and that I meant to read last year. And whichever number I roll, that is going to be the book that I choose. I have one's a reroll, obviously. The second one is Blue Horses, Unmarriageable, which is like a Jane Austen parody. Meet Cute, which is like a romance contemporary. Writers and Lovers, it's a book by Lily King. The Jane Austen Society, I believe it's another, I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but it sounds interesting. It's on my TBR. Darling Rose Gold, another romance. House of Earth and Blood, I cannot remember what that book was about, but it was on my TBR, so. Chain of Gold, I have not read it yet, and I really want to. Midnight Sun is a book that I actually have, and it's Twilight told from Edward Collins' point of view. Wall and Peace, it's about the art of Banksy. I really like his art. The Great Gatsby, that is one of my 100 essential books to read in my lifetime, so is Animal Farm. And so is The Picture of Dorian Gray and The Scarlet Letter. So all those books are on my 100 essential books to read in my lifetime TBR. So maybe I'll get to check one of those off my list. Persuasion is a book that I actually have, and it's another, I believe it's Jane Austen as well. And then I have To Kill a Mockingbird, another book that I've been meaning to read. Toil and Trouble is like little short stories about witches. And The Fault of Our Stars, I've like had that book for so long now, and I like have yet to read it. So hopefully I can. Maybe that's something I'll be able to read today. And if I roll a 20, if I roll a natural 20, I get to pick whatever book I choose. A lot of these books are, some of these books are like really, really short. Like I think Blue Horses is like 50 pages, and then other books are like 600, and I have no idea. I think Chain of Gold is like 600 or 500 pages, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I even gonna try to read that? But we'll see. So what I'm gonna do right now is I am going to pull out my D20. Got my Kindle right here. And I'm gonna roll and see what I get. Alright, so see here. I got 10. So what is number 10? Midnight Sun! That's really cool. Okay, so I actually already have this book. So that's pretty awesome. This was actually one of the books that I had been wanting to read anyways. Midnight Sun again is the one with Edward Cullen. And so I think it'll be a pretty easy read. The only thing that I am concerned about, and let me just check this really quick, is let me check how long it is. It is 658 pages, y'all. Oh my gosh. Whew. 658 pages. Okay, well, I mean, that is a goal. The dice has spoken, and that is what I'm going to be reading. Knowing me, the first time I read Twilight, like, I went through it like that. So I should be good. So, for the third challenge, the third challenge is to read a book that you meant to read last year. Now, I've had this book I've actually bought this book. I bought this book as a Kindle version a while back, and that is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. And so I was really big with Twilight when it came out. I really enjoyed the book series. I have them all. And I'd be really interested I really enjoy these prequels, especially it'd be really interesting to hear everything from Edward's perspective. So I am very much looking forward to reading that as my Kindle version. So this is going to be the book that I read at night while all the lights are out, and I'm going to be reading it as I go to bed, or if I'm traveling or anything like that, and I don't want to carry around a book um, for it to get worn on, I will be reading Midnight Sun. So the fourth challenge of this reading uh, readathon is we chose read a book that starts with the word the. And obviously there's a lot of them. And this book, it took me, I didn't really know which one I was going to do until literally just now, because there was a lot of books that had the word the for the first book that you touch challenge. Um, and I decided to go with one that's been on my TBR for a really long time, and it's really hyped, and I just haven't ever read it. Some of you guys are going to be so shocked, but I have never read The Fault in Our Stars. I know John Green. I've read some of his work, and I read some. It was something involving like Christmas. That's the one that I read by him. But honestly, I know his brother more, Hank Green. He does like sciencey stuff, but I'm really interested in reading this book. Obviously, I've heard a lot about it, but it's never been something that really interested me. I know it's supposed to be sad. Um, so I guess it's about Hazel and uh, who has cancer, and finding comfort with this boy who also has cancer, and like um, this is how their lives are intertwining. So it should be. I'm expecting it to be very sad, and very sweet. So it sounds like one of those books that I'll read through pretty quickly. It's only like 300 pages, so that's something that's not going to be a problem. Actually, so The Fault in Our Stars is going to be my like bonus book. I'm probably going to read this book last. Because the fourth book that I want to read also fulfills the um read a book that starts with the word the, and that is The Great Gatsby. So I'm actually going to listen to The Great Gatsby as an audiobook. I know it's not very long. It's actually pretty short. So I feel like I can finish it pretty quickly, but The Great Gatsby fulfills read a book with a person on the cover. And The Great Gatsby has this beautiful cover that has like this really like wonderful face. And it's kind of iconic, and it's only 200 pages, so that's why I'm thinking like I can get through this one pretty quickly, and if I have time, I'll read The Fault in Our Stars. I am not sure what The Great Gatsby is about. I know it's a classic. I know it's on my 100 essential books to read in your lifetime, but I'm not too sure what it's about, and honestly, I like to keep it that way. I know it's set in like the 1920s or something, and um, I'm really excited to read it. I hear a lot of good things about it. It's by Fitzgerald, so I know that he's an amazing author. Um, and I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a really great book to listen to as an audiobook while I'm, just for a break. And the again, the final challenge is to read a book completely outside of your house. I am going to be completing Cujo completely outside of my house. So I live on a campus, so I can easily walk to a lawn on the university campus and park, pull out a blanket and have a lovely time. All right, so I have quite the variety of books and audiobooks, and I'm really excited. So this is what I have for my reading rush this year. I've got 2 hard copies and a Kindle version and an audiobook, and that seems pretty good. I feel really optimistic about next week. I feel like I can get through these. I mean, this is pretty. These two shouldn't be too bad. The audiobook shouldn't be too bad. It's Midnight Sun. It's the Kindle one that is going to be deceiving. So that's going to be the one that is going to be a little bit more challenging for me. But so this is what I'm going to be doing next week. I will be posting and vlogging every single day just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up as to what I am doing. But yeah, I am so excited for this. I've been looking forward to the reading rush or the readathon for a really long time. And I'm excited that I'm just taking it upon myself and just like giving myself an excuse to read for a week. And if you decide to do the same at any point in time for, this year, go ahead and let me know. Let me know in the comments below. How do you pick your books? If you are doing a readathon, like how long is it? Is it only a day? Is it going to be a week? Is it a whole month? I can't even imagine doing a whole month of it. But and what is your criteria? Are you just pulling books from the shelves, or do you have a theme going on? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next week. Bye, bookworms, and happy reading!